Listen, you don't understand the life of a vlogger. If you've got a problem, deal with it.
I see a little silhouette of a man.
This is a review of the Sony A6300. Why wait to start reviewing? Let's do the image stabilization. Look at this. Not only does it feel like you're dancing with me, you can see very clearly how great the image stabilization is. Okay. I should probably mention I'm not using the lens that came with this camera. I'm using a wide angle lens for no other reason really that it's just better to vlog with a wide angle lens. But the lens that comes with this camera is 100% solid. So if you end up just buying this camera, you could just use that lens. But just so you know, this lens is like $850, just for your information. Housekeeping. Is Aaron here? The first test today is going to be a low light test between the Sony A6300 and the equivalent Sony RX100 Mark V, which is a little bit more expensive. Aaron's house is very low lit, right Aaron? And there's buffalo chicken dip, so we're going to do a low light test review. Buffalo chicken lit.
Okay, don't ever do that again.
There you go, a little bit of a sneak peek of the low light test for you. The battery life is up next on the docket. The battery on this camera, it's never run out in the middle of the day. It has lasted me the entire day, and that's more than I can say. Guess what that's more than I can say about
what?
The other camera, the one that I did the low light test on.
Oh yeah, the one that you.
It runs out non-stop. The battery on this thing, you don't even have to invest in another battery. Can you believe that?
Then you should buy this camera.
It'll last you the whole day. Now, the one pro about the smaller camera compared to this is you buy that and you get everything. You don't have to buy anything else. This, you gotta buy the microphone, the lens if you want the wide angle, a lot of stuff, and it adds up to being really expensive as compared to just a small point and shoot. One big question I had about this camera was, could I take it outside in the cold, the rain, the snow? And the answer is yes. I've traveled to Europe with this thing because I'm trendy, and that's what trendy people do. Right, here's the Royal Palace, and it's quite stunning really. Take a look, take a gander. I brought this camera with me in the rain, in the snow, in the cold, in the hot, in the warm, and it's done well so far. Listen, you don't understand the life of a vlogger. If you've got a problem, deal with it. Now, if you've looked at this camera, you've probably looked at the A6500, and I'll tell you right now, don't get it. It's a waste of money, Aaron. You wanna know why? A lot more expensive, and it's the same exact camera. They tell you 6500 fixes the overheating problems, and I'll tell you firsthand, I've never once had this camera overheat, this A6300. No, it didn't feel hot.
He's lying, people.
I don't lie. I tell the truth. Erin's my friend, and I really like her. I don't lie. Now, the size of this thing, it depends. If you don't have a big microphone on it, then you can easily fit it in your bag, fit it in your purse, and carry it around with you all day long. But if you do have a big mic on it, not a big problem either. You can carry it around all day, and it's not too heavy to the point where it gets annoying to carry. It's not too big, not too small. One thing I'm most impressed with on this camera is the slow motion quality. But I'm not just impressed with the quality of the slow motion. You see, the problem with a lot of cameras, like this one, is it takes great slow motion, but it takes like 30 seconds plus, 30 seconds minimum to write to the SD card. As opposed to this camera, which takes great quality slow motion, and it writes the SD card on the fly, on the go, like live. You can just keep going and filming and stopping and filming. Even though this camera takes like 960 frames per second, I would still rather carry around this big camera that you're looking at me through right now and shoot the slow motion on that. I don't care how many frames per second this shoots at in slow motion. If it takes like 3 minutes to write to the SD card, I'm gonna miss every single shot that was worth taking except for the first one.